Welcome aboard the Omnibus. Now for your safety, we ask that you remain seated with all hands, arms, and legs inside the bus at all times, and please supervise those children. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, sir. That was just a friendly reminder this is when we stop down a beautiful sleeping beauty castle. Welcome aboard the Omnibus, everyone. And now we'll welcome to Main Street, USA. More importantly, thank you for joining us here on Disneyland's 67th birthday, everyone. This park was originally founded upon and opened July 17, 1955, so it is a very special day. Once again, thank you for joining us, folks. We're in Town Square. We've got a lot of activity about the Main Street vehicles, tons of character meet and greets, and a little bit of Taylor magic. What's up, Taylor? Happy birthday. As everybody else whose birthday is on board, happy birthday as well. By the way, folks, we do have a Disneyland Celebration. I believe it's going to be right here in Town Square. It's in this exact area where we're at. About 12 p.m., folks. And 9:10 Spectaculars. We do have Disneyland Forever. Our Fireworks Spectacular at 9:30 p.m. And the Main Street Electrical Parade, which has 10 parades. I believe it's at 8:45 and 10:45. Along with Fantastic playing at the Rivers of America. And that one looks like where it's about to turn down. Beautiful Main Street, USA. And just look at that view, everyone. And if you look right up here on the right-hand side, that is the Main Street Cinema, where we're hosting 6 great Walt Disney cartoons, all in beautiful black and white. And if you didn't know, someone, Wayne Crazy was actually Mickey Mouse's first cartoon to ever get featured on. In fact, that animation is actually so old, it actually doesn't even feature sound. So look at the right cinema if you want to check it out, folks. Right up here on the right-hand side, that is the Market House, where we're proudly serving Starbucks coffee. And just down the walkway from there, this is where the Main Street lockers are at. Right up here on the left side, folks, that is the Carnation Cafe. And some future menu items include Walt Disney's chili. I guess someone actually uses his own family recipe just right here in the parks. Right up here on the left-hand side, everyone, that is the Gibson Girl Ice Cream Parlor, where you just sell ice cream by the scoop, Sundays, and floats. I guess, everyone, you can't get a Sunday on a Sunday. And that one just over here on the right-hand side, that is the Plaza Point, our year-round holiday shop, where you sell anything from Christmas souvenirs and many more, everyone. Yeah, if you do want a Christmas souvenir side, there you go. That is your perfect shop, everyone. Even in the middle of July. And started walking right over here. We got the First Save Launch Children Baby Care Center. One of this guy's hat is a Mickey Mouse hat. Actually comes from Disneyland Tokyo, everyone. Really cool souvenirs from those parks. And straight up ahead of one, that is the beautiful Sleeping Beauty Castle. And one fun fact, so we're on the topic of Disneyland's birthday. This castle is actually the only castle that Walt Disney himself has actually gone through. Yeah, a lot of the final attractions I did.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit KingdomReportLive.com. And now, back to the magic.
It's Disney News Talk Live. Happy D23 weekend, everybody. A huge weekend indeed, in which we are all here to talk the very biggest news, all of the changes, all the updates, all of the things that you need to be aware of that have come out of this weekend so far. I'm Wade Heath, joining you for all of the fun, for all of the magic, for all of the joy. I hope that you are having yourself a great weekend, and perhaps you are enjoying yourself a bit of a reprieve if you're in Southern California. Maybe you're at the D23 Expo. Maybe you are in and about the Disneyland area. You know that the last week and a half has been horrid when it comes to the weather. It has been unbelievably hot, and then a tropical storm, what is this, Orlando, moved in to take care of us here in the last 24 hours, and now things are just a bit cloudy, if not a little dreary, but certainly a heck of a lot cooler. Today, we are going over so many different things. The D23 Expo has certainly covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, and no doubt you are interested in all those details. There was a lot to keep track of in the last 24 to 48 hours, and we have done our best to bring it all to you here, sort of your one-stop shop for everything that has happened so far. And keep in mind, the Disney Parks panel happens tomorrow on Sunday. So if you are listening to this live on Saturday, or you're catching us on demand after the fact, be aware that the Disney Parks panel itself, the probably most sought-after panel, in my opinion, of all of the information drops, that happens tomorrow. So along with all the news of everything that has happened so far, and yes, there has been some Disney Parks information released, there will also be some predictions that we are going to share with you here today. But before we get too far, I always like to make sure that we reward you for watching these broadcasts. We reward you for watching these shows or listening in, and that is why we want to give you your very own Kingdom Report mug for being a part of the broadcast. All you have to do is wait until the live video is over. So as soon as this live video is over on our YouTube channel, the Kingdom Report on YouTube, you can leave a comment underneath the video with the phrase that pays this week. What is the phrase that pays? Off to Neverland. Off to Neverland is the phrase that pays this week. All you got to do is leave that comment underneath our video. As soon as the live video is over, you can leave the comment, and you have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time to leave that comment. So if you do watch on demand, it gives you an opportunity to leave the comment as well to enter yourself a chance to win your very own Kingdom Report mug. Off to Neverland is the phrase that pays. And if you want your mug, all you got to do is enter. That's all you got to do. Go for it. Phrase that pays, my friends. And let's see who is checking in so far today. I know we got a chat room full of people, and that crowd continues to show up, which means so much. Looks like Aaron is joining us, saying, I'm watching from the Disneyland Hotel. Well, what a magical place to be joining us from, Aaron. That is outstanding. What tower are you in? Would love to know what view you have. Is it a city view? Is it a downtown Disney view? Is it a parking lot view? Are you looking at the inside of the hotel property with the monorail pool? Let us know what's going on. Shane checking in saying Torrance, watching from Torrance. So thanks for being a part of the broadcast today. Trisha and Megan saying watching from Santa Barbara, California. Very nice. Always appreciate you joining us. Let's see. Esther Zombies saying Pomona, California, just up the road from Disneyland. Lovely. And we have Anna Perez saying, you know I'm here, let's go. With the coolest emoji I've ever seen. D McGee checking in saying San Antonio, Texas. D. Great to have you with us as always. Joe saying, definitely feel like a crazy Disney fan right now, and I'm not mad about it. I have live D23 playing on my TV. I have y'all playing on my iPad with one ear pod in and watching live updates on Instagram. You're going to explode. I don't think you can handle all of the content at the same time, Joe. But I completely agree with you. I feel the same way. I have been on top of all kinds of different feeds here in the last 24 hours, and we do have people on the floor for us at the D23 Expo right now. If you are plugged into our Instagram or our Facebook stories, you no doubt have been watching all of the content streaming through from the floor of D23 Expo in various panels. In fact, we just had a video that got put up here a few minutes ago of Harrison Ford on stage, very emotional, talking about Indiana Jones 5. Yeah, I know. Indiana Jones 5 is on the way. Pretty crazy, right? We're going to talk about that and so many other films that have been announced and that are on their way. Aaron, thank you so much for the super sticker. Oh my gosh, it is very generous of you. And Trisha is saying, Joe, kind of a kindred spirit, I think, with these emojis is what you're saying. Absolutely. And Florida vibes, definitely. Yes, absolutely. Shane saying, Wade, how you doing? Well, I'm doing great. Like I said, completely immersed in all things Disney content this weekend, trying to stay on top of all the announcements and all the things that are happening. I am thrilled that we get to share it all with you here today. I won't waste too much more time, but I do want to say my appreciation for all of you and your thanks for what we have put together for you here today. So, Tish and Megan, thank you very much. Daniel saying, watching from Glendale. Hey, hey. Amy saying, watching from Walt Disney World. Amy, it is incredible to have you along with us from the most magical place on Earth. And Treble saying, St. Pete, Florida. We got some Floridians in the house. Very nice. Aaron checking back and saying, in the Frontier Tower with a nice view of the parking lot. All right, so you're on that Frontier Tower. From my own experience, having worked there many years, I can tell you the Frontier Tower, don't want to rattle you too much, it is haunted. Yes, I'm totally serious. There are a lot of interesting things that have happened there, and we certainly will be sharing more of those with you as we get closer to Halloween. So hopefully you're not easily spooked, Aaron, because there's some things you need to be aware of over there, that's for sure. Austin checking in saying, Oklahoma here, hoping they announce a new Journey into Imagination tomorrow. Unlikely, but a man can dream. Austin, interesting you say that. And I'll tell you why in just a bit. Tigger saying, got a little drizzle and a lot of fog in Santa Cruz. Thanks for checking in. All right, everybody. Looks like we'll finish up with roll call there as more and more folks tend to join us throughout the broadcast. And we will move right along because I'm not alone. I've got a friend with me. Yeah, I do. You know her as a travel agent extraordinaire. If you watch Kingdom Report Live, our video broadcast on Saturdays, typically in place of this broadcast when we're not doing this show, our travel agent extraordinaire, somebody that has perhaps the very best take on all things Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me right now, it's Katrina Manzone. Hey, Katrina.
Hi, everybody. I think Tyler's the one that has a really great take on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
You're always very supportive.
He's not here, so it's fine.
That's right. Yeah. Tyler off saving the world again this week.
Yeah.
Well, he's a big fan of taking care of business out there and making sure that all the kids are safe. That's
one
for
of us
sure.
got to do it. We have to do it somehow.
Yeah, if it's not you, right? It's
Yeah.
definitely him. So
I did my time. It's his time now.
Well, I'm thrilled that you guys could trade off and tag team saving the world together. And it's an honor to have you with us today to talk.
Thank you. I'm excited.
You bet. Hey, this has been a heck of a weekend.
Oh, my God.
So far, there have been unbelievable amounts of announcements. I won't say that all of them are, over the top or anything, but, there's been a ton of information that's been thrown at us this weekend so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Friday is usually the aperitif, the amuse-bouche of things that happen. And then Saturday and Sunday are big stuff that happen. And you always have to just keep your phone on you at every moment because there's always something new that's announced and stuff,
You never know what's next. Yeah, that's for sure. And I feel like, as I was mentioning here in the open, it's gosh, I've just been surrounded by different feeds and different things that are happening and watching everybody else's updates and seeing what's going on and talking to our folks that are there on the ground and sending us content for our social media streams. And it's just been a bit overwhelming to watch all the different angles, but I'm thrilled that D23 is finally back after so many years away. No doubt the pandemic getting in the way of so much of what Disney had planned in the last few years. And this kind of felt like an opportunity for Disney to get back on track. This felt like the event for them to finally right the ship a little bit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it doesn't even seem like anything happened the last few years. It just took place, it left off, in 2019? Gosh, that's so long ago.
I know, right? It's a lifetime ago.
Yeah. And it didn't even feel like it was there was any gaps or anything, So I'm happy to see everybody's reporting on Twitter. I leave my phone for like 1 hour yesterday, and I was sitting there for about 4 hours trying to catch up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I feel like if I had looked away for longer than 30 seconds, I would be, completely in a hole. And I know that you and some friends were up at Universal, right? Halloween Horror
Yeah.
Nights. No doubt not your scene,
I did
typically,
not
the horror.
partake in any of this.
Right.
I was just the person that was like, oh, I'll just head over. I'll have dinner with you guys. And then I'm going to head back to the hotel, chill, and then just watch, a fun Disney movie.
Very safe.
And I watched the live action Cinderella. And then I just looked out and gazed on the scariness from the view from our room, which was an amazing view. And it was really fun. I did have 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds of, should I go in to see Death Eaters? And I have a free ticket on my annual pass. So I'm like, I could just, and it was it's still lighter outside around 5 o'clock. So I was like, I could run in, go see it, and then run out really fast. And then I was like, nah, I can't do it.
Wouldn't be nearly as terrifying in the light.
I would be like, I want to see, they did the Death Eater stuff at Universal in Orlando, and it was at night. It was phenomenal. It was so great. I'm so sad they discontinued it, but that's the only thing I want to see there. And I feel like if I walked in and I had, that straight line where I wanted to get to, I would be the focal point of everybody trying to scare me. So I'm not going to leisurely walk there. And so, I would be the target. So I don't want to be the target, but it was fun though.
We know. Zero in on her. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the tropical storm that moved through Southern California, very unusual, but giving us that reprieve, absolutely. And I'm thrilled that D23 could happen indoors almost entirely because so much of what Disneyland and Disney World does is outside, right? And so many of their special events always get washed away during particular times of the year. So it's really cool that Anaheim Convention Center could host once again this time around. And we'll start here with the big news coming out almost immediately following our friend Bob Chapek's welcome, and we're going to get to his welcome here in a second too. But one of the things that he really did to sort of kick things off, and I think to establish goodwill right away, was he whetted the appetite of Disney parks fans everywhere regarding what is to come. Now, again, all the updates happening on Sunday. The Disney Parks panel happens on Sunday, so we still don't know all the particulars about what's happening and when, but he whetted our appetite with this, saying, we're going to be expanding Avengers Camp as a California adventure, and the heart of this new area will be a sensational new attraction. Guests will be able to battle alongside superheroes and villains from anywhere, and more will be revealed about this new attraction during the Disney Parks panel. And Katrina, I know that we all were aware that Disney still, had a plan eventually to build out that Quinjet ride, that big e-ticket attraction that would be, sort of back behind the Guardians of the Galaxy Tower. And so we knew that was coming eventually, but now it's been clarified that this is not going to be the Quinjet ride. It's going to be something entirely different. And the Quinjet concept has been scrapped.
Isn't that weird? I don't know. I feel like he made it sound like we were getting, because he was being very ambiguous about it, very sneaky about we're getting a third attraction, and I was like, I mean, technically we were supposed to have 3. You're not giving us another one. It's already kind of there.
You promised it. Yeah.
I mean, it was promised 3 years ago or 4 years ago at this point. I forgot when they made that announcement. And then so obviously it got scrapped. Are they still going to keep the Quinjet on top? Are they going to scrap it and get rid of it? Or is it just, I don't know what they're going to do with that. But
it's too much of an icon, right? I can't imagine them getting rid of that. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, for the building, because it's that building is technically their HQ, and so you got your transport on the top. So I assume that they can keep it. It would be fine, and it wouldn't really matter to the overall theme of what happens behind it. But I know that building was supposed to be kind of the entry area, the portal into the next part of the land whenever it gets created. And I'll tell you that the Orange County Register, they weighed in on this announcement too, saying that the latest concept based on a new ride will be completely different from a first-of-its-kind Quinjet e-ticket attraction announced for Avengers Campus before the COVID-19 pandemic that shuttered Disneyland and DCA for, well over a year. We all know that. And so Marvel definitely had postponed things. And one of the big things that they did postpone was this Quinjet e-ticket attraction. So perhaps we are going to get something far better, because the way that this is written makes it sound like they came up with something more creative or more innovative. And so that's what ended up sort of taking center stage for them. So Orange County Register writes the initially proposed Quinjet e-ticket attraction was announced with much fanfare during the D23 Expo at the Anaheim Convention Center in 2019, but has not been mentioned very often since then, leading industry observers to wonder if the Ballyhood attraction would be canceled amid pandemic-related budget cuts. And Chapek said during an annual shareholder meeting, you all might remember back in March, that the Quinjet e-ticket attraction planned for DCA was in a holding pattern, those were his words, and will hopefully be built once the company's post-pandemic cash flow situation improved. So I do remember him saying that, and I thought, oh, okay, well, like eventually, because we saw the demand was there for the parks and money was coming in, and they've now, continued to say record profits, earnings report after earnings report. So it's not a surprise that, money's flowing again, but the custom designed full-sized Quinjet that we were just talking about, it serves as sort of the centerpiece of Marvel's Avengers Campus, and it sits on top of that headquarter building, and it's intended to double as the entrance for that ride, as I mentioned. So I think they might just keep it and then use the balcony as they continue to use it for, characters just sort of waving hello, things of that nature. So I think that might be the plan ultimately down the line. But for more details, they say listen in to Josh D'Amaro's Disney Parks panel on Sunday, but it's all going to be based on a brand new concept. So
I feel bad for the
I'm
people
intrigued.
that worked so hard on like the concept before this concept.
Oh no!
And then they're scrapping all of what they worked on. And then like there's a point where I get nervous when he said new attraction and he didn't say ride. So I'm like, it better be an e-ticket.
Yeah, right.
Because you kept saying e-ticket, it's coming, we're putting it on hold. And then
Great
he says
point.
attraction, and I'm like, oh no.
Excellent point. I didn't even think about that. And you're right. Wording is very intentional when they talk about these things. Oh boy, you can't promise us an e-ticket. I think you might be onto something. That's why.
So bad. All the stuff that they worked on is now like either out of date or, because, like the multiverse is slowly progressing and stuff. So now they're wanting to switch to like the multi-universe to kind of give it longevity, like the way he made it sound is they're able to like move things around quickly and not have like, like you go on Rise of the Resistance, you can't really change that ride pretty quickly.
Right.
Based off of movies and like the universe, like the multi-universe and stuff kind of is happening. So maybe it's just I hope it's good, because
oh my gosh,
I'm nervous. It better not be Star Tours.
And I believe too, I see this a lot. I don't just believe it, I see it and witness it quite often. There is quite the, we'll call it a split audience when it comes to the Spider-Man Web-Slinger attraction too. And as to whether or not that was even, worth putting in the land, because the detractors from it will certainly say, hey, this is like a video game, and I don't understand, this is, because we ran one of our clips recently regarding, best and worst rides in Disneyland. And of course, we were talking and beating that drum of Millennium Falcon as usual.
Sure.
And a lot of folks were coming in underneath. A lot of folks were coming in underneath that comment-wise and saying, "Oh no, the worst ride is Web Slinger, Spider-Man." And I'm like, well, number one, we weren't talking about California Adventures, so we'll cross that bridge later. But it's definitely sort of a split audience when it comes to whether or not that ride was going to intentionally wow everybody into submission, or it was going to be a nice filler ride. And I certainly look at it as a great use of technology and space, because they didn't have a lot of space in that land. And they managed to, I think, pull off something pretty decent. However, I think that coming with a new land, like when you open a new land, you expect there to be an attraction that knocks your socks off because it's new. And I think that set people up for disappointment unintentionally. Like, I don't think that Disney thought about that. I think they assumed like, oh, and we'll hold this extra cherry on top for later and excite them, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of like, so I don't want to speak for Tyler, but I know Tyler, when we talk about web slingers, he's on that other boat where he's like, oh, this is kind of boring. Like, it's not really gonna, I mean, it's a video game ride, right? And then for me, I thought it's cute. I think it's way better than Millennium Falcon because I control my points. I'm not, I don't have to be sad or angry where I have to sit to be engineer and be like, well, this is stupid. Like, you either get the middle or the side. Like, that's where you're sitting. You get 4 people to a row. You have the option to control what you do with the points, right? Like, and then of course what they did was great. You can buy little extra add-ons to use while you're doing your little web slinging, but it's a filler ride. It's something for you to lead up to the e-ticket ride that is not existent. But I don't mind it. I think it's cute. If it's a low weight, I'll do it. Like Tyler and I, we've killed it on that ride, just the 2 of us. Even without any of those little helper gadgets that you have to buy. We would get probably 900,000 or above by the 2 of us. And then by the end of it was a great workout. I was exhausted.
I'm sweating over here.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best things that Bob Chapek revealed in his little whetting of the appetite when it comes to this Avengers Campus expansion is that this new attraction is going to be based on the multiverse. So this is going to open up the door for everything in the Marvel cinematic experience to come walking through. So I don't know necessarily how they intend to do that unless there's a lot of screens involved, which seems to be what people get irritated with nowadays. But
I think that's probably what it's going to be with the way he's saying it.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, we'll hold out hope for the big panel discussion on Sunday. At any rate, thrilled that the expansion is being announced and that it is happening and that we're not going to wait another 2 or 3 years before we hear anything about it. So at least there's that. Katrina, we all know that Bob Chapek, Disney CEO, is perhaps the most charismatic, engaging individual that's ever walked this earth.
It's true.
Yeah. And a great example of that is how he welcomed everybody to D23 yesterday. Want to take a look?
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
Hello, Disney fans, and welcome to D23 Expo 2022. It sure feels great to be back with all of you. It's so exciting to see people from all over coming together to celebrate a shared passion for the magic of Disney. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here with this incredible community, the biggest Disney fans in the world. So whether you traveled across town or across an ocean to be here, I want to thank you for joining us and for being such an important part of the Disney family. I know we've all had to wait a little bit longer than usual for this chance to reunite and share our love of Disney. But let me just say that based on all the incredible things that we have planned for this weekend, I promise you it will be worth the wait. In fact, this is going to be our biggest, most over-the-top D23 Expo ever. More content previews, more special guests, and more news from the parks.
Katrina, natural, raw talent.
I felt the love when he was talking. I was like, wow, he's talking to me. He loves me.
Such warmth, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
He has a heart 10 times bigger than that of the Grinch, no doubt. And he is someone that, when I think masterclass in stage presence, there is my expert.
It's true.
All the hesitation,
nope.
all of the missed cues, all of the unsure of his own skin situations unfolding in real time. I don't tell me that man practiced. He didn't need to. Look at him.
He didn't need to, and it's clear. It's clear, very clear. But I feel bad. Honestly, like I feel so bad for you, because you can tell, like he's so nervous, and he's just like, he just needs to get up there and just get it over with, and then just leave. But he's trying to sound excited about it, and
And
it's
sporting that new look
I
on
mean,
the
listen,
stage.
he has that Obadiah look from Iron Man. I feel it. You never know. Obviously, we liked Obadiah in the beginning of Iron Man. We thought he was helping. And then guess what happened?
Yeah.
Chain of events.
Yes, and Roger chimes in saying, "Wow, nice beard." Roger, you picked up on it too, right? He's really going for that rugged outdoorsman feel now, I guess. Amy
He's taking
saying,
what Jimmy Fallon is doing. Jimmy Fallon just started this whole like rugged look. Everybody's talking about it. He's like, I got to do this too.
"Yeah, it's it's I got to go with the flow here." Amy's saying, "Is the facial hair an attempt at disguise?"
I mean, it could be.
That's a good point. And Tish and Megan saying, "He doesn't get it, does he?" Here's the thing, too. For those that are unaware, he was booed during his initial arrival on stage. So that happened. He was booed, in fact. And what's very interesting is that the live stream that was happening at that time, the audio dipped out. Disney intentionally cut the audio from the feed as he got booed coming out on stage. And he was introduced, by the way, from all of these like Disney on Broadway stellar superstar cast. And as they brought him out, the chorus of boos started. And the videos are out there on social media. However, I thought it was very interesting to point out they ended up replaying the kickoff to the show later. So following the live stream of that panel, and that was leading into the Disney Legends celebration, following that, they re-aired the whole intro again because they said, one of their hosts on the D23 Expo Live was saying, "Oh, because the audio cut out in the beginning, we're going to re-air that first portion that you may have missed. It wasn't broadcast the way it should have been." And it got re-aired. And I have this. I have this captured. They got rid of the boos in the re-airing. Suddenly the boos weren't heard. So sanitizing their own history as it happens. They squeaky cleaned that sucker on out. So very interesting, to say the least. I think that was something that was worth calling out because I noticed it. Don't know if many other people picked up on it. D says, "Does this mean we're no longer an unfavorable mix?" Oh no, D. We still exist, the unfavorable mix. We're just completely cut out of the equation when it comes to D23, and he acknowledges everybody else there as, really stellar individuals that are lining his pockets great. And you know what? You should stop by the Dream Store outside and buy some more. That's for sure. He's our guy. God bless him. So the other thing that I wanted to make mention of, and I know we beat up on Bob Chapek all the time, but don't tell me he doesn't deserve it. He's he's quite the we'll say it nicely. He is quite the unfavorable mix himself. That's what we'll call him. Yeah, that's what we'll refer to him as. So, Katrina, one of the other things that everybody could see on the expo floor was something that I think took some folks by surprise, just because I don't think it was intended to be out there, or at least like it wasn't announced at a time that you were going to be able to see this, was, in fact, Tiana's Bayou Adventure model. So they have like the scale model of what the new Tiana's Bayou Adventure is going to look like. It's been revealed. It does look quite different from the concept art. What do you think of this bad boy?
Oh man, I want to say that they're doing this now and then maybe adding on to it. Like this is like the bare minimum that they're gonna do, and then maybe add on, because it is completely different than the art that they showed before. And so maybe maybe they're going to switch it up based off of the little hill for Disney World and Disneyland. So maybe they'll switch it up, and this is just one rendering of one park, and they're not saying which one it's going to be for. But it's cute. I like it. I like the little water tower, and then if you look, you can kind of see the Tiana's crown on top, her little tiara, and it's really cute. And you could barely see it, but
it's true. Yeah.
Someone took like some really great shots, like up close. They were probably standing there for hours trying to get these really great shots, and you could see it, and it's really cute. And they have like this little sign, like because they're going to go up a salt mine, so they're like, "Welcome, to the family," and then they kind of show it. So it looks really cool. And if you look like kind of on the top of the hill, you'll see the little like bottles hanging, and they're all like lit up and stuff. So it's got to be like this really fun drop with like these really cool colored lights and like really good storyline. But the outside just looks so bare. Like it just needs something more,
Yeah, it sure did lose a lot of the extra elements from the concept art, that's for sure. And Orange County Register reporting that the tiara-topped water tower will be emblazoned with the logo for Tiana's Foods. The community food co-op was established in 1927, according to the new backstory for the attraction. The new Splash Mountain backstory finds the restaurateur turned princess opening Tiana's Foods following the success of Tiana's Palace restaurant in the 2009 Princess and the Frog animated film. And according to the backstory, the employee-owned food cooperative is housed inside the aging salt mine within the former Splash Mountain, with growers planting crops along the waterway that flows around the famed mountain peak. Tiana's Bayou Adventure riders will ascend the lift hill through a mill house built into the side of the mountain, powered by water troughs feeding a spinning water wheel. Musical critters seen in the show scenes of the revamped log flume attraction will include an otter audio animatronic playing a fiddle made from a tin can, tree bark, and fishing line. Magical lighting effects triggered by the film's voodoo priestess Mama Odie will fill the hilltop cavern with glowing colors just before riders descend the log ride's dramatic drop. And one of the great things that is going to be included alongside sort of this, I guess, intellectual property edition of Princess Tiana and Princess and the Frog is also the news that we've been waiting to hear about. So over in New Orleans Square, right alongside our old Club 33 door back there, and right alongside the Blue Bayou, an overhaul of the La Baton Rouge store, or what used to be that, happened last year, and we've been watching it in our Disneyland updates on this channel for a very long time, trying to figure out whether or not there is going to be some sort of movement or some sort of announcement from Disney, and they just weren't saying anything. We were looking through the windows, trying to determine exactly what was going to happen, all sort of color paletted to Princess and the Frog. Well, now we have the acknowledgement of Disney, and it happened this weekend, and they said that the first element of Tiana's takeover will be seen in a few weeks. Eudora's chic boutique retail store will open at Disneyland in New Orleans Square on September 20th, with a portion of the new shop dedicated to Tiana's gourmet secrets. The Tiana-themed store is named for the seamstress mother, her mother, right, of the animated Disney princess. A corner of Eudora's chic boutique will feature a period show scene with sewing machine, sewing mannequin, and aprons, according to concept art for the new attraction. So that opening up here in 10 days. That store will finally open its doors, and thrilled to hear that that's on the way now, and certainly waiting to hear a little bit more about the Splash Mountain overhaul as it becomes Tiana's Bayou Adventure, scheduled to reopen in late 2024, as they mentioned. So it is on its way, and a clothing store themed to her mama. That ought to be nice to see in New Orleans Square.
I need to go shopping. So I really hope it's gonna have some really cool stuff, like like an original dress or something, like original dress print or designs, kind of like flapper dresses is what I was hoping for. Something that would be really fun and not just like another location for Disney to pump into their other dresses that they have at the dress shop that you can find at downtown Disney.
Yeah, no kidding. Joe saying, gonna wait to see what they say and show us about this on Sunday, because I heard the original art we saw was of Disney World's, and this model is of Disneyland's.
Ooh.
Hey, you know what?
That's
I'm all
a good one.
Yeah, I'm all for making the coasts different and making the attractions different as much as possible. Because when you just transplant things, from one place to another, it makes it less special. I've always thought that. I mean, it's
I
like,
agree.
right? If you can just do everything in one place that you can do in another place, why would you ever visit the other place? I mean, I just don't
Yeah.
feel like
I mean,
it's
they're really killing
worth
it
it.
because you're exactly right. Like, why would you want to go and visit? If you can go get everything done at Disney World, you're kind of like ruining Disneyland and vice versa, you know? So
Yeah.
that's the whole point of like Avengers Campus, right? There's supposed to be different locations and different rides happening at, each one. So you can go visit like over here and then go to Paris and like get different stories.
You know, it should always be kept that way. Each park should be its own destination with its own unique offerings. Amen. And unfortunately, it's like they get into this mode of like, oh, well, we've done that before and it was popular there. Why don't we just do it over here? And,
I mean, it's
we'll just
cheaper.
shove
It's a
it in
cookie
that park.
cut, So they already
Yeah.
have the designs, the plans. They just have to execute all of it again.
It's like, I see the long term, sort of business results of, hey,
Yeah.
if I'm offering something unique here, I have a unique draw. Therefore, I'm a destination unto myself. I don't know. I don't plan things out. I'm not part of the Imagineering planning phase, but Shane wanted to know, saying, what's the new Avengers ride opening year time frame? They didn't really specify, just that it is coming. So I think we're going to hear it tomorrow. In fact, just that we are getting an expansion. It is on its way, and it will not be the Quinjet ride after all. So I like hearing that we at least have something coming, which is going to be great. And Katrina, another great thing that has occurred since D23 kicked off is, of course, the Legends ceremony, inducting a whole new roster of legends once again at the D23 Expo. This was quite the class. We see Anthony Anderson, Kristen Bell, Chadwick Boseman, Robert Coltrane, Patrick Dempsey, Robert Price, or Bob Foster, Josh Gad, we all know him as Olaf, right? Jonathan Groff, Don Hahn, Doris Hardoon, Idina Menzel, Chris Montan, Ellen Pompeo, and Tracy Ellis Ross. All welcomed to the 2022 class, which is pretty exciting because I think so many of these folks, coming from the franchises that they have been a part of, especially the Frozen crew and Kristen Bell, Adina, and Josh. Talk about legendary. I mean, they have the highest grossing animated film of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And so they certainly have earned their stripes. I loved Josh Gad had a really awesome acceptance speech
Oh my
where
gosh,
he
yes.
he called out a casting representative at Walt Disney World and said, to the casting representative at Walt Disney World when I was 18 that didn't think I was worth hiring for the Jungle Cruise, could you please add to my resume Disney legend? Awesome.
I love the little 1-2 punch that he did. It was great.
Yeah, right? I would do it myself, by
I mean,
God.
they can't take it back.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not something that you can remove. Once a legend, always a legend, that's for sure. And now I want to know who deserves to be included as a Disney legend next. In the next class, no doubt the next D23 as it rolls around, I am interested in what y'all think. So shout it out in our chat. Who deserves to be inducted as a Disney legend next? Katrina, can you think of anybody off the top of your head that deserves such an honor?
I have a few where I was like, wait, they're not Disney legends yet? How? How? So like the main one is John Williams. How?
Oh,
Like a famous composer that does so many great movies, tells a complete story in like 3 minutes of a theme. And it's just like he's done Star Wars, Indiana Jones, any kind of thing with Star Wars, Solo, The Entrance to Galaxy's Edge, Obi-Wan, like their title scenes and stuff. It's just like Hans Zimmer was inducted, Alan Menken was in like part of it, and then Phil Collins of all people is a Disney legend just because of Tarzan and Brother Bear. And yet John Williams hasn't even been part of it. So he needs to be part of it in like the next class because I will be really sad. And then
100%.
Alan Tudyk, like, come on.
Oh my gosh.
He's not even a Disney legend. He's been like in part of Disney for like 10 years doing just, random voices, So it's crazy. And like Jim Cummings is like another one that comes to mind. Jim Cummings, like he's been a part of my life, like my whole life, you know.
He's not a Disney legend?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking about it and I was like, so I quickly Googled it and I was like, how is he not a Disney legend? And
the voice of everything.
He's Pooh Bear, Tigger, Pete. He's even in Star Wars. He's Hondo, for gosh sake. Like it's crazy. Like they're really missing the mark here.
I am in shock.
Right?
You know, you're rocking my world. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? So next year, Disney, or not next year, in 2 years, Disney, think about it. Alan Tudyk, John Williams, and Jim Cummings. Like, just give it to them already. Especially John Williams.
No kidding. I mean, you know, you talk about people that have moved hearts, you know, globally, and individuals that have, with their craft and with their art, made such an impact on humanity. And it's like John Williams above everybody with his music and he is, you know.
I mean, he went to the Hollywood Bowl and he did what, 3 days straight, and it was like the biggest turnout. This man is like 90 years old, and it was like the hottest heat wave, and he still came out on the stage. He did everything. He showed us. I wasn't there, but he showed us because I'm going to be part of this group. And and then he did like, you know, a little snippet of Indiana Jones 5, the little theme song, and you just like listen to it, and he just does this beautiful storytelling in his music, and it's just like, how is he not a Disney legend?
Oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed to know this now. You know, it's going to live with me and hurt me forever. Way to go.
You're going to cry pretty much every day. You're going to just like, all of a sudden your mind's just going to like kind of just go off in somewhere, and then you're just going to start thinking about it, and then you're just going to start crying for no reason.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Well, we want to hear from you. Who deserves the honor next? Who needs to be a Disney legend? Those names alone should have been inducted first when they started this thing. I am in shock here today, but you all shout it out in our live chat, or if you're watching on demand after the fact, leave it in our comments. Who deserves the honor of being a Disney legend? No doubt it is the highest honor you can receive from Disney. You even get to shake the hand of Bob Chapek and take a photo with him. So, I mean, want to talk about an honor? There you go. Let us know who deserves that very honor moving forward. Share it with us. Let us know. Shout it out, and we will share your thoughts when we return here on Disney News Talk Live. Plenty more coverage of D23, all the events, all of the extras that come along with it, recapping the weekend so far. Next.
Bowman, pass off bow line. Engine room, ahead 1 quarter. Engine room, ahead 3 quarters. Ledsman, sound off. Mark them off. On 1.
That's the ledsman calling out the depth markings so we can avoid running aground.
Mark Twain.
Mark Twain is not just the name of a riverboat or a great American author. It also means the water here is 2 fathoms deep. That means it's safe enough for us to proceed on our steam-powered journey along the rivers of America. On our trip, we'll visit the magnificent Columbia of the Great Northwest, the graceful Missouri of the windswept plains, and the rugged Rio Grande along the border of Texas and Mexico. I'll be sure to point out interesting sights along the way, and even tell you about a legend or two. We begin our trip right here on the mighty Mississippi, heading south and ending up down in New Orleans.
Disney News Talk Live, thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast on this D23 Expo weekend where all kinds of announcements, all kinds of updates are coming our way from the floor of the D23 Expo, where we have some of our correspondents checking things out, visiting all the panels and sharing the love with us. And if you are not plugged into our Instagram stories right now, you are missing out on all of the activity happening on the floor of the D23 Expo. Head on over Kingdom Report Live on Instagram. Kingdom Report Live on Instagram. You can see everything that's happening front and center that we are witnessing there at the Anaheim Convention Center for D23 2022. And Katrina Manzone with me here today talking about just everything that's happened so far and some of the plans moving forward. We're going to move on now to the Disney Pixar film highlights and some of the things that were talked about yesterday as coming fairly soon to all of us. Katrina, there was a lot dropped on us. Frankly, a lot of prequels, sequels, and redos, but a lot, no doubt, was sent our way, especially whetting our appetite for all of the extras that they have coming at us. And I think we'll start here for now. A trailer was released exclusively as part of D23 yesterday. Let's take a look. Coming to us May 2023, the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid. Katrina, what do you think?
Ooh, her voice is like butter. Oh my god. I'm so excited for this. Like, I'm not a big fan of when they try to remake films and stuff, unless you kind of do something new with it, right? So like with Cinderella, they kind of like added a kind of different, a little storyline to it, a little bit different things going on. But oh my gosh, like just the way they have her hair moving in the water, I was like so intrigued. I was like, this looks good. And then her voice when she did that high note, I was like, ooh, I'm so excited. And you see a little flounder. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, following, right?
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, you're right. That voice. We were just talking about John Williams and how his music has like moved humanity in a certain way. Voices like that, talent like that. Yeah, we mock Bob JPEG earlier. I mean it now. Talent like that is stirring. You feel emotional listening to a voice like that.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous, and it's fascinating. Halle Bailey, the actress that is going to be playing Ariel, she said on a D23 interview yesterday that this is one of the greatest roles that has ever been bestowed upon her, because she grew up, and I think like so many little girls, right? She grew up imagining that she was Little Mermaid. She would jump in the pool and she would spend hours in the pool swimming around, feeling like the Little Mermaid and reciting the lines and imagining what it would be like to live under the sea. And like listening to her story, I was like, oh, I'm so glad they picked her. Right? Yeah,
Wow.
it's like with the Marvel, franchise, and looking for those actors and actresses and casting them just perfectly for the types of roles.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh.
they find them.
It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to get a little bit more, when they start. I want to see what Ursula looks like. I'm really excited to see how like they kind of get the just like just under the sea stuff. I just want to
Hmm.
see what their take is gonna be, and like how they're gonna change
Absolutely.
up the music just like a little bit, because obviously they did it with her, just a kind of little snippet. So they're gonna do a little bit different renditions of the songs, I would imagine. So I'm excited.
That's true. Also announced with it was 4 new songs included
Oh,
for the film. So, like, in addition to the songs we know and love, it sounds like some additional songs being added to the mix. And I have to say, obviously, we have experienced a lot of live action remakes here in the last 10, 12 years from Disney. And very few of them sort of hit the high mark category.
yeah.
Some are enjoyable, some are okay. But for the most part, they don't hold a candle, obviously, to their animated friend that came before them. I will say, for me, and this is just my perspective, certainly everybody likes their own live action recreation, but I think that the two that stand sort of head and shoulders above the rest for me happen to be Aladdin, which did not really get a whole lot of praise, and Cinderella.
Oh, I see. I didn't like Aladdin.
See, that's what I keep hearing from people. I thought it was outstanding.
I was like really excited for it, and then when I watched Cinderella, I was like obsessed. I loved the aesthetic, I loved the costuming, I loved the characters, and then and so I was like obsessed. And then when Beauty and the Beast came out, I was so excited. The aesthetic, the way they were gonna do it. I feel like the only person that I loved was like Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Josh Gad, and like Stanley Tucci. Like those are like the only people that really like stood out to me. And then the storyline, they added a song for Dan Stevens to sing because he has an amazing voice. But I was like, was it needed? No. Was like their little storyline, like editing, I didn't really like it. And so I was really sad. I feel like I kind of liked Jungle Book. I loved oh my gosh, what's his face as King Louis. Oh my god. What's his name? I forgot.
I didn't end up seeing the Jungle Book live action
Oh,
remake.
really? Oh my gosh.
So one of the few.
It's just so funny because that was like the only song that I was obsessed with. Was now I have to look up his name because I'm gonna like die. Because
Find it.
it's so good. Anyway, oh yeah, Christopher Walken, duh.
Oh, Christopher Walken. Well,
Yeah, so
naturally.
and then his song is just so good. And then that was kind of like the first, live action, but those are like my two favorites so far.
Well, Joe aligns with me, saying, "Oh my God, I loved Aladdin."
Yeah, I
Went in
know.
thinking, went in thinking it was going to suck, and left being blown away. I really did. I got sort of captivated with. I felt like it was just enough magic, kind of like how Cinderella left me. It was just enough magic with the right amount of story, and I walked away going, "Oh yeah." Whereas, like the quote live unquote action
Yeah.
of The Lion King.
Oh my gosh. I can't. Don't even get me started. I'm like Tyler with that, with like Millennium Falcon. I just can't. When we had to go see it, they're like live action. I'm like, how? How?
Yeah,
In what way?
yeah,
I mean, same with
precisely.
Jungle Book, right? I mean, the only live action was a little kid.
Yeah,
And so I give him a lot of props for like sitting on a belly of a green screen, and that's supposed to be Baloo. It's just I want to see more like live action, not this whole like what are they going to play the Mufasa kind of thing. So that's going to be live action, right? But it's not going to be live
yeah.
action.
Yeah, really, really interesting how they plan on and to go to like an origin story and stuff like that now, and go back to the well and the Lion King, and we'll give you a full rundown of sort of the highlights, I suppose, of what was talked about yesterday when it comes to Disney and Pixar. And next up, another trailer for you here of something that Katrina, I know you have been waiting for. Let's take a look.
I banish thee from Salem forever.
They were right to fear thee. Magic has a way of uniting. Happy 16th birthday, child.
I have a gift for my favorite customers. Legend has it, it's on the 16th birthday that a witch gets her powers.
candle. We have to get out of here. The witches will be here any second. Ah! The book is alive.
He woke up?
If we intend to live past sunrise, we have to steal their souls.
Whoa, wait, can we talk about this?
No. We must fly! We're gonna
Not to freak out. The vengeful maniac obsessed with getting revenge on Salem sounds very bad for Salem.
We should get some salt. Why? So it tastes better when they eat us? Spread out.
That's not 6 feet under.
Stop! I am a good zombie!
September 30th, Disney Plus will be streaming Hocus Pocus 2. Katrina, the Sanderson sisters are back.
Ooh, I'm so excited. You can see my face right now. I have like a huge smile. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to hear them again. You know, like just, I think the trio of just, I don't know, there's just so much energy and like, and obviously we're like living through nostalgia from seeing the first one, but
Right.
it's got to be good for Bette Midler to come back. You know what I mean? I feel like she wouldn't give in to a bad movie, but just like Kathy to Jimmy, I just love her so much. She's gonna fly on like Roombas. I'm like, oh my god.
It is thrilling to see Billy back. It is thrilling to know that the Sanderson sisters, after all this time, are finally coming back to Salem. And I know that, you know, we saw leaked images last year of them filming this, right? And there was so much excitement in the air because we've been hearing rumors for years that there was going to be a Hocus Pocus 2. We've been hearing this probably for the last 10 years. I feel like every year around Halloween, there is, you know, a rumor that Hocus Pocus 2 is filming right now for debut next year. And now we officially have it in the can, and it starts at the end of this month for this Halloween season. Are you disappointed by any chance that it's, you know, Disney Plus versus like a wide theatrical release?
100%. I was kind of like, I mean, again, I guess like that's what everybody's doing now is kind of going away from theater and going to Disney Plus. But I feel like for Disney, when they put it on Disney Plus, it's like they don't have high expectations for it, and it makes me nervous in a way. Because I know they need people to go on Disney Plus to get the money, and so they're going to try to split it up 50-50, but now I feel like they're putting too many, like they're trying to spread it out too thin. So they're trying to put some movies on Disney Plus to make you sign up for Disney Plus to watch it to gain viewers. Then they want to put some movies in movie theaters to get the money to earn back from their budget that they've had from the film to be like nominated for awards. But it's just like, you know that Hocus Pocus isn't going to win an Academy Award.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh man, but it would have been so cool. Like I'm excited I'm excited to see it and like just watch it at night, make my dinner, sit out, have a glass of wine, and then just ready to go. No one bugs me because like I feel like my luck with theaters now is like everybody's on their cell phone throughout the film.
Yeah,
like,
that's true, huh?
And you know, Instagramming and stuff. So I'm like, oh my god, if someone interrupted me, I probably would blow.
Yeah, no more.
Yeah,
please. This is
like,
my time.
I gotta see Winnie sing her song. I don't know what song she's gonna do, but I know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, right. We saw that clip in the trailer. She's on stage singing. Woo! So
I'm so excited.
She's back. Yeah, it's going to be wonderful. You're right, for the nostalgia in all of us. I think to be able to see these witches take to Salem once again. Interesting to see, I think, if there's going to be any of the original cast outside of the witches and Billy joining them. I know that they've kept a tight lid on that and haven't necessarily spilled exactly who's going to be involved overall.
I hope they're
outside of
gonna
the
do something like just slowly maybe every week or probably like the week leading up to Hocus Pocus. Maybe they'll make like some kind of other little leak because I know they kept like Hannah Waddingham like kind of quiet about it too
Mhm.
for a while until I think she kind of put it on Twitter a couple weeks ago. But I'm hoping that what's his face the cat's gonna come back.
Is it
Binks.
James
Yeah.
Marsden? Yeah. I'm hoping for the same. Absolutely. Yeah, you cannot replicate that voice. We need Thackeray Binks
I
back in our
know. I
life.
need Binks back. Oh my gosh, he's got to protect those girls.
Well, I know that he was released right back to his sister in the end.
I
He
hope he
got to be
comes
a
back
released
though.
ghost.
That's
Yeah, in
true.
the
I just
original.
hope he
So
comes back somehow. I don't know.
someone needs to save these girls.
I mean, if Winnie was supposed to die at the end of Hocus Pocus, I mean, and they came back,
That's true. Good point.
so can Binks and his sister. And then
that
that
right.
girl's gonna punch him in the face and say, "How dare you kill me?"
Girl
And then
power.
we get that the scene we always wanted at the end of Hocus Pocus.
Finally coming to us. And Trisha chimes in saying, did anyone watch Pinocchio? I have not seen
I
it.
haven't done it yet.
You haven't either? I've heard some very
No.
mixed reviews.
Oh, I've heard some bad ones. I've heard it's very small when I heard someone say like they liked it, but Pinocchio is such a hard movie for me to watch just because even I can't even watch the cartoon version anymore. It always makes me cry. Like it just makes me so sad when they turn into donkeys and I'm like, oh no,
I can't deal with this.
I can't do this. It's so mean.
Well, I will have to take a look. I know I just have not had time as of late, but it's definitely on my list, and I'm hoping that Tom Hanks traditionally comes through in any role, and crossing my fingers here that it isn't as hated as it's made to seem, as bad as it's made to sound like it is supposed to be. So I will definitely check it out and form my own opinion. We aren't going to play, obviously, all the trailers. There were a lot of releases. We still have the list forthcoming to share with you some of the biggest highlights from the film releases. However, we do have one more to share with you all. This, yet another one that I know Katrina is all amped up about. Let's take a look.
I know that change can be scary, but it can also be exciting.
If I learned anything from meeting Princess on a billboard, is that sometimes you just have to take a leap.
Let's start our new life. Pretty soon, this whole place will feel like home, you'll see. It's all part of the adventure.
That's not an adventure, that's a landfill.
A land filled with adventure.
Robert! Congratulations!
Oh, it's what they call a fixer-upper.
Yes, once your peasants have dug out the moat and added a turret and a balcony from which you can sing. I see it now.
Okay. Melvina, Monroe, I would have sold you this house, but I deal in slightly more upscale homes.
In Andalasia, the hardest part of life is finding your happily ever after. This world's very different.
If this world is not to your liking, then you must change it.
I wish.
I wish. Jumping jellystick. Wait, how am I talking?
I wished for a fairy tale life and it's all gone terribly wrong.
Or terribly right.
At the last stroke of 12, nothing will be as it was before.
Stepmother!
Oh, Giselle, what have you done?
That's wicked.
Wicked good.
This November, Disenchanted comes to us finally after all these years of wondering, is there going to be a sequel to Enchanted? Katrina, How you feeling?
Oh man, years and years of waiting. I finally get it. Oh, this is like honestly one of my favorite movies. I remember watching it in theaters, and I was just I watched it, I think 3 times. I think when it was in theaters because I was like so obsessed with it and how like the story writing and stuff. I'm just really sad. Again, they put it on Disney Plus, so I'm like, oh, do they not have high hopes for this movie?
Yeah, I was surprised myself.
Because I feel like they would want, something for kids to go into the theaters and see it. But oh man, it's so great to see Amy Adams back. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. And now she's gonna be like slightly evil. I'm like, ooh, it gives me chills in a way. I'm excited. And then like Maya Rudolph, like she's hilarious and I love
Yes.
her to death. So I am excited to see her. What is she like? She's not the evil stepmother. She's like the evil queen, right? Is what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. And so I'm kind of stoked. I'm like, ooh, I wonder how she's gonna fit in on this.
The antagonist. Yes,
Ugh.
yes. And yeah, Amy Adams in the role she was born to play. That's for sure.
It's honestly true. Oh man, I'm excited to see like the musical numbers again and like it's gonna be fun. And like James Marsden, he's always just like such a funny, quirky guy too.
Yeah.
So he's definitely gonna bring a lot of good stuff. And Adina's gonna have like a good singing number. She
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely, yes. No, it's awesome to see the entire cast back. Even little Morgan, she's all grown up.
I know. Oh my gosh, she's a little teen now.
That's amazing. And Patrick Dempsey, I'm so glad to see that Shonda Rhimes hasn't completely killed off his career. So that's nice to witness him coming back. Also named Disney Legend this year. So congratulations to him. Great to see him returning for the role that I most remember him for. I wasn't a Grey's Anatomy. I wasn't a Grey's Anatomy watcher, but I know that a lot of people remember him probably most from that series. However, I will never forget him as the curmudgeon of Enchanted, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
So great to see him coming back. And we were just talking about Pinocchio here before we ran that trailer, and whether or not people saw it. And Trisha saying, I didn't like it necessarily.
Oh.
Michael saying, I haven't watched it yet, but from what I hear, the song from Cynthia Erivo is the only good thing. So that's nice to hear. Trisha and Megan saying, Pinocchio is a story you love or hate. And Joe saying Pinocchio was just okay, probably the worst CGI for live action so far. That can be very damning, right? Like that can absolutely derail a film if you're more focused on the CGI problems than the story because it's really noticeable, then they haven't done their job right.
Yeah.
And Dee saying Pinocchio was the one I was most excited to see and was not disappointed. Okay, well, all right. Finally, a positive review. Very excited to see that. Tinker saying to us, Disenchanted, finally.
Yes, Tinker.
She gets it. James Marsden hasn't changed a bit. I think I always get the two confused. So I think I was just mentioning with Hocus Pocus, I think it's that's Jason Marsden who plays Thackeray Binks.
Max?
And then, Thackeray Binks.
Oh no, isn't he the one that like voices Max?
Goof? Oh yeah, Max Goof. Yeah. I'm sorry. There's also a Max in Hocus Pocus, so you threw me. He's the Max Goof. So I always get the two confused because they both start with J and end with Marsden.
That's
so it drives me
yes.
crazy. So yeah, he hasn't changed a bit. You're absolutely right. I thought the same thing when I saw the trailer. I was like, God, it's like he gets preserved, and he comes back.
He is Prince Charming, so it's very true.
It's the truth. Yes,
it's like him and Paul Rudd. What do they drink? What
else
is there? Because none of them have changed.
Tell me your diet.
Yeah.
I need to know. Joe saying, honestly, Disenchanted looks like it might even be better than Enchanted. I'm so excited for this. Michael saying, I'm so glad they have a lot of the original cast. Me too. That looks like one of those films that everybody had such a great time working on that they were thrilled to have the opportunity to come back.
I hope so. I hope that they kind of do, because this was like way before Adina was, Elsa. So I wonder if they're going to do like a little throw in of some kind of joke with her and Elsa.
Oh, that would be neat. I would like that.
But not like make it stupid cheesy, but like kind of just respectful and kind of funny. If you get it, you get it. And if you don't, you'll be like, I didn't catch it. But that'd be really fun because like this was like when she kind of was just coming into Disney.
Absolutely. Shane saying, can't wait to see this movie. Yep, same here. And Trisha saying, I'm so excited for this with Disenchanted. Me too. Quentin coming in with the hot take saying, those Legends Awards were like participation trophies. I understand Frozen cast, but everyone else was unwarranted. I think there were some folks on there that deserve the Disney Legends Award.
Oh yeah.
You know, not everybody is a mega celebrity that is a part of the Legends ceremony, and many folks also work behind the scenes or are part of like Imagineering or a part of the business that you might not necessarily see. So there are many folks that even if you watch the live stream chat reaction, a lot of folks that even though they do a recap of who they are, if they're not grade A celebrities, everybody's like, who is this? What's going on? But it's still Disney's way of nodding to them and saying a big thank you. But I don't disagree that if you look through the rosters of people that have received the Legends Award, I'd be like, okay, even celebrity wise, I'd be like they're not
Phil
legends. That's you have it out for Phil Collins.
I was just kind of like, was Googling it. I was like, wait, Phil Collins got it and John Williams didn't?
Doesn't seem fair.
Movies. He only
That's
did
right.
like 2 songs and that is it.
You are on something today, let me tell you. An anti-Phil Collins liqueur, perhaps. But I'll tell you some of the highlights that came out of, and this is not a completely inclusive list of everything that was announced, but some of the highlights that came out of the Disney and Pixar film discussions and panels yesterday. Obviously, Disney releasing the official trailers we saw for Hocus Pocus 2 that arrives on Disney Plus on September the 30th. Disney also released a trailer for the Disenchanted movie, as we saw. That'll be arriving November 24th on Disney Plus. And Disney released the trailer for the live-action Little Mermaid that we watched. Can't wait to see that. And then Disney has also announced Inside Out 2 coming summer of 2024. As I understand it, it sounds like we were just talking about how the Enchanted cast, basically it looks like everybody came back because they probably loved being a part of the movie. Well, it looks like there is some real struggles getting the voices back for Inside Out outside of Amy Poehler.
Really?
And they were not willing to front the money for specifically Mindy Kaling, Bill Hader, and some of the individuals that made up the rest of sort of the emotional map of characters. So, they've gone public with that now. So it's unfortunate to hear, but it sounds like this next Inside Out will revolve heavily around Amy Poehler's Joy character.
How interesting.
I think so too. It reminds me of the whole Robin Williams Genie Aladdin scenario.
That's true, yeah. But like, how are they gonna? I mean, at least with Genie, they had like they called him the Blue Genie instead of like the Genie when they redid it or something like that. It was like the behind the scenes. But I feel like because the main character is gonna be a teenager, she's not gonna be happy.
Yeah, hormonal
when I
and
was
crazy.
A teen, I was definitely angry all the time.
Little emo Katrina running
yeah,
around.
I was just like, no.
All your piercings and your
oh yeah, for sure. The chain around the
designs.
neck and black lipstick,
I see it now.
That wasn't me, but it's still like, you're a female teen going through puberty and romance, like crushes and stuff. I don't think anybody in their high school career was ever always happy.
Impossible to be. It's
impossible.
The worst time of life. I agree.
Dealing with like crushes and notes and clicks and all that stuff. I'm like, oh no.
Yes, long in my past. Goodbye.
I know.
Never to be seen again. That's right. Well, other highlights from the Disney and Pixar film notes that came along with the panels yesterday. Disney released a poster for the new Peter Pan and Wendy film that'll be debuting on Disney Plus in 2023. We don't know a ton about it yet, but going back to sort of an iconic and very tenured franchise here for a film. I guess gut reaction.
I'm like kind of like, why? What is it needed? I mean, I know they said it's going to be revolved around more of Wendy than any other movie has portrayed Wendy. So that's kind of cool to see. But
yeah,
in what direction? How many Peter Pan movies do we need? All I need is Hook and the cartoon Peter Pan. That's it.
Oh, Hook.
Those are the only 2 I need in my life. That's it.
I feel like when you play around with sort of iconic films like this and try and tell, different side stories or origin stories, you always run the risk of potentially damaging what you originally built. And I hope that that doesn't happen here because Peter Pan is such an iconic Disney spin. The spin that Disney did with it is, I think, the one that stands out to everybody the most. And no doubt with Disney going back to the well on this one, cross my fingers that they do it justice. And Mufasa, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, The Lion King is the title of the prequel film that will be directed by Barry Jenkins. It's set to be released in 2024. Just based on what we saw with the live action Lion King remake, I'm not hopeful, unfortunately. I'm again, I go back to what I just said, and that is this idea of the original concepts, the original iconic films. It's like when you try and tell these side stories, unless you're Jon Favreau and doing The Mandalorian, it's rare that you can nail it so well that it ends up being great. Yeah, we're
he did
very
help
lucky
with
as
the
a fan
Lion
base.
King. Jon Favreau wasn't he the director of the Lion King live action?
Yeah.
Or he helped
So what does that
produce
say?
it? So I'm like, oh boy, come on, John, get something else out of here. I mean, honestly, I would have loved if they did Mufasa in the art style of the original animation.
Yeah.
I think that would be really, really neat. Not live action, but
No kidding. Yeah.
new age now. Everybody wants that kind of stuff.
CGI live action.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis announced as Madame Leota in the upcoming Haunted Mansion film. She was on a doom buggy on stage during the panel announcement, and the doom buggy spun around with her in it with the big announcement that she will be Madame Leota. Jamie Lee Curtis, our Freaky Friday mom. Here she comes.
I got chills when she turned around. I was like, ooh, I can't wait for her to do this. Like, she was a busy girl this weekend. She was at Halloween Horror Nights opening when we went, and she was like promoting her Halloween. And now she's gonna do my kind of Halloween stuff, being Madame Leota. Like, I can't watch her other films, but this I'll definitely watch because I love her.
Atta girl, go Jamie Lee Curtis. I had an interesting interaction with her once, not to name drop or anything, but I think it's a testament to how she is, in sort of a normal setting and like day to day. There was a bizarre instance where she was trying to leave one of the parking lots at the Disneyland resort, like the hotel space area. She was trying to leave out of one of the parking lots, and a gate arm that protects the street from the parking lot came down on her vehicle and cracked her hood. And I was in charge at that time and got a call to respond to a guest whose vehicle had been potentially damaged by one of the gate arms in the parking areas. And so I had headed on over there. And as I walked up, I did the whole, hi, I'm Wade. This is what I do here. What's going on over here? And as she started talking, it started to sink in. This is Jamie Lee Curtis. And she's standing there and she says, these things happen, and it was probably my fault, and I probably just hit the gas too quick, and I didn't wait for the gate arm to raise the right way, and it came back down, and I'll be happy to pay for it. I'm so sorry. Was unbelievably apologetic,
what a treasure,
right? And didn't say this is your fault, or this gate is terrible, or shame on you.
She took the blame. Like,
she took the blame. I couldn't believe it.
She's a true treasure. I love her.
She really is. Yeah, she's such a kind-hearted spirit. And as she was sort of going on about she had to be somewhere really quickly too, and she goes, I would be happy to stick around and fill out whatever information you need. She goes, but you know what? And she had a card with, it was like her business manager's information on it. And she goes, this is how you can get a hold of me. She goes, if, you need any sort of information or any sort of money or any sort of testimony or anything like that. She goes, but I'm already late for something. And she goes, I'm sorry, I can't stick around. And I said, are you sure your vehicle's okay? Because at that point I was thinking, I think we might owe you something here. This looks like our fault. And she said, oh, it's fine. Again, these things happen. And she goes, I just need the gate to go up again. And I said, okay. So we got it to go up, and off she went. And now she's playing Madame Leota. Look at her.
Oh my gosh. It's like they say, never meet your heroes. I'm like, I want to meet her so bad because she just looks like
She's
a
a
really
hero.
cool mom. Like someone you could just chill out with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's the princess of horror, I like to say.
That's so true.
Yeah, like I think that's a really fitting title for her, but like the nicest lady in the horror genre.
Oh my gosh, what an
Really
awesome
sweet.
story though. She's just oh my gosh. I can't believe it. She's just like, "Oh, it was my fault." Like, I feel like any celebrity would be like, "How dare you?"
Oh, I was preparing for battle. I assumed because, I heard the setup of it all, like, here's what happened. I thought for sure, oh, this person's going to come unglued. Like, this person's going to just level me the moment I walk up and go crazy, especially if there's damage to the car, all those things. No, not at all. No,
Wow.
she did it.
That's like
She
the
said it was
coolest
her.
interaction ever.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then Disney released a first look at Pixar's Elemental, and that'll arrive in theaters June 16th, 2023. So again, with the balance of Disney Plus releases and, your more sort of wide release cinema type situations going on here. Very interesting, if I do say so myself. I think that's fascinating just to know that Disney's like picking and choosing what goes to the streaming service only versus what gets seen in front of the wide release inside a movie house. So I would like to know what everybody thinks when it comes to this roster of films. Again, not all inclusive, but those are some of the best highlights coming out of the panel discussion. Is there something that sticks out to you as a film you would like to see the most? D saying, cannot wait for Mufasa. D, I'm hoping that it ends up being a sleeper hit and certainly blows the last one out of the water, the last of the franchise out of the water. That would be nice. I would love that very much. Melissa saying, why can't Disney come up with something new? Why remake stories already done? I think this might, and this is me spitballing here, I don't disagree, Melissa. It's Disney's supposed to be the imagination house, the imagination HQ, if you will. And you're right. So much of these are just rehashing old stories or going back to the well on things that already worked for them once. I know for a fact because it's been written and it's been recorded. Bob Chapek has said that the sort of longevity of intellectual property is forever if they get creative enough. So it sounds like it might just be a directive from the top, not to put all the blame on him, but this is something that he believes in, that you need to go back to the well of intellectual property and get creative based on what's already been established and what's already been rock solid for the company in the past, and try and tell offshoots of those stories or give more from that space to an audience that we already know loves it, right? So that's been like his premise all along, which is why I think even come the D23 Disney Parks panel, I think we're going to hear, unfortunately, and I'm crossing my fingers here and I'm hoping that this is not the case, but based on Bob Chapek's own sort of direction in the organization, I'm a little more worried that we're just going to see intellectual property inspired attractions that might not necessarily be the Pirates of the Caribbeans of the past. They're probably going to be a little bit more dumbed down and mundane. We could be completely wrong here, but since this is what he wants to see more of, and we're certainly now seeing it in the film franchises, potentially we're going to be back in that same sort of sticky situation with parks and resorts. Now, maybe Josh D'Amaro, as the Disney Parks chairman, has a little bit more influence and a little bit more persuasion when it comes to what goes where and whether or not something truly gets the green light. Now that he's been in action now, I guess for a year or two at this point. So the fading away of Bob Chapek as the Disney Parks chairman, since he's assumed the CEO ship, is probably now taking full effect. And Josh is not necessarily having to work on so many of Bob's former projects, and Bob's former directives. But if it's still coming from the top company-wide, that you go back to the intellectual property well to do things moving forward, it permeates in all the directions of the organization. So we shall see.
That's a
Melissa
good way to
say,
say everything. You did it.
Leave it to Bob Paycheck.
You did it.
Thank you. And we'll take one last look here. Just before we signed on today, the Lucasfilm and Marvel film franchises took to the stage. And again, this is not inclusive of everything that was discussed. In fact, they were still discussing things as we came on the air today. But here are some of the highlights so far. Indiana Jones 5 will be Harrison Ford's final appearance in the franchise. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you are not connected to the Kingdom Report Live Instagram feed right now, then you are missing out on some great stories from within the halls of D23 Expo at the Anaheim Convention Center. Some really great footage that you are not seeing live streamed anywhere because it can't be, but you're seeing some great footage, some great clips of Harrison Ford getting very emotional about the prospect of leaving the Indiana Jones franchise once and for all. So head on over to the Kingdom Report Live Instagram page and check out our stories to see everything D23 live and on the flow right now. Marvel shared exclusive footage of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, coming to us very soon. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania will kick off MCU's Phase 5, so they did announce that. Werewolf by Night is officially announced, and the trailer has been released for Marvel. And of course, Secret Invasion will be released on Disney Plus in 2023. In addition to that, all kinds of extras from Marvel have been thrown in here, not listed here in front of us, but has been announced since we started talking to each other today, Katrina. Daredevil Born Again will begin filming in 2023 with 18 episodes for Disney Plus.
Wow, 18 episodes?
How about that? Not 12, not 10.
Usually I was expecting like 8.
Yeah, it's definitely supersized for us. That's nice. Looks like Captain America New World Order details have been shared, which is very exciting. And it's said to be a paranoid thriller, is how it's being described.
It's a paranoid thriller. I don't want to be paranoid.
You know, I think the Captain America franchise has been really good at that. They play off of a lot of sort of real world anxiety. And so many of the Captain America films have done just that. Like Winter Soldier was very much sort of pulling from the headlines of the day. And the directors and writers even said that, that they wanted it to be sort of reminiscent of what people were feeling in the moment. And, I'm sure there's a lot of paranoia out there to go around. And so New World Order.
When you're paranoid, I
play
think
on
of like
that.
zombie Captain America.
Oh, well, with the term New World Order, I'm thinking that there's probably going to be a lot of conspiratorial concepts woven into this. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing the trailer. They also announced Marvel's Thunderbolts, starring Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan, as coming very soon. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing. What else do we have here? The Marvels. So that is also something that's recently been announced as of today, I should say. So the Marvels, I believe that is going to end up being it's focusing on the three heroes. There we go. As they keep trading places with each other every time they use their powers and must team up to fix their problem.
Oh, interesting. Didn't they say something about Fantastic Four too?
Yeah. I'm looking for it. I know.
I was like, I swear I saw something about Fantastic Four, that they announced something about Fantastic Four and Loki, but I couldn't find anything else on Loki.
They did announce Avatar: The Way of Water. New concept art for that has been released. So we knew that was coming, but they're releasing more concept art for it. Obviously going to be a 3D experience, which is no doubt where they were going with the whole thing, because it is an immersive scene to behold anytime you experience Avatar, and no doubt with the attraction over at Disney's Animal Kingdom that we've all come to know and love, with probably, I think, the best use of projection technology of any theme park attraction. That one is done right, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm looking for Fantastic Four. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't know.
Dang it. I know that they were supposed to be a part of, I think they said the Phase 5 rollout, so perhaps they're sitting on that for now, but I thought there was going to be more.
Oh, it's just announced, was it Matt Shakeman to direct Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four in theaters November 8th, 2024. Marvel
There we
Studios
go.
posted about an hour ago.
Ah, thank you. Perfect. Yeah. All right. This just in. Very good. So Marvel with a full slate coming our way. Lucasfilm revealing Andor as a 24-episode spy thriller and released that trailer. They also revealed Christian Slater will star in Willow, the series, with a new trailer being released. The Bad Batch Season 2 will premiere on Disney Plus January the 4th, 2023. Tales of the Jedi will premiere October 26th on Disney Plus and is 6 episodes long. And The Mandalorian Season 3 returning to us February 2023 with a new trailer released as well. Huge fanfare for this during the presentation today. The entire cast making it onto the stage to celebrate Season 3's big detailed release. It is looking good. Was not able to turn the trailer over quick enough, but it was definitely one of those goosebump type trailers. I feel the magic again. They're doing it again.
Oh man, I cannot wait to watch this trailer. I am so stoked.
It is pretty darn good, and the child remains the child for now, so we still get to hold on to baby Yoda, our little Grogu. It doesn't look like he's talking yet or anything like that. He's not really grown up yet. He's still in baby form, which is great because I think that's the heart of everything on The Mandalorian is that
Pretty
baby
much.
Yoda.
I feel like if you do, like, I mean, everybody loved baby Groot, you know, and then as soon as Groot started growing up, everybody's like, he's fine.
Absolutely. Well, we've been talking a lot about the film franchises here today and what goes to Disney Plus versus what goes to wide release in cinema. Interestingly enough, this past week, Bob Iger, former Disney CEO, was sort of making some headlines and discussing exactly what he thinks on a variety of subjects, including how cinemas are kind of getting played out and how the cinema-going experience will never be the same. He had a pretty unique view because obviously he was the CEO and chairman of the biggest entertainment conglomerate on earth. And so he has been sharing his thoughts with the business community. I wanted to share that story with everybody here today to kind of get an idea as to where we might be going between the streaming services and wide release in theaters. And the following comes to us courtesy of CNBC. They write, the coronavirus pandemic has left a permanent scar on the movie theater business. At least former Disney CEO Bob Iger seems to think so. Saying, quote, I don't think movies ever return in terms of movie going to the level that they were at pre-pandemic. Iger, who stepped down from his post as CEO of the Walt Disney Company in February 2020, handing the reins to then head of theme parks Bob Chapek, said choice is the main reason moviegoers have not returned to cinemas at the same pace as before. He noted that consumers became more comfortable with streaming services while in lockdown and grew to enjoy the content of these platforms and the flexibility of being able to choose what to watch and when. Iger was quick to add that he doesn't think the movie theater industry is a dead business, but that the pandemic exacerbated and hastened a change in consumer habits. Between January and the end of August, the domestic box office generated around $5.3 billion, down around 31% compared to 2019. It remains on pace to deliver around $7.5 billion in total ticket sales by the end of the year. For comparison, in 2019, the box office tallied $11.4 billion for the full year. There are other factors leading to this decline in box office, including a significantly smaller number of film releases. Only 46 films have been widely released domestically during the first 8 months of the year. During the same period in 2019, 75 films had been released widely. On the plus side, moviegoers are now spending more when they go to cinemas, opting for higher-priced tickets to see films on premium screens and buying more concessions. Iger noted that cinemas aren't the only place for audiences to see the birth of major franchises. Saying, quote, I think the movie industry used to argue that you could not create cultural impact without having everybody go to a movie theater on the weekend in every country in the world, and then just couldn't create franchises. I don't agree anymore. close quote. Iger pointed to HBO's Game of Thrones and Disney's own The Mandalorian as series that have made significant impacts on the cultural zeitgeist without assistance from cinemas, saying, quote, "It doesn't mean movie-going goes away. I'm a big believer in movies. I love big movies. But it doesn't come back to where it was." Once again, our thanks to CNBC for that story. So there we have it, Bob Iger with his theory on where movie-going public will ultimately end up, and certainly the streaming world has made it a heck of a lot more convenient, Katrina.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with kind of what he's saying, but I feel like these last 2 years have completely changed the dynamic of people going to movie theaters and like what we do. And honestly, I'm kind of one of those people that I would rather watch it from my house. I would like the option to have it. So I would like to either see it in the theaters or see it from the comfort of my home. Like I would, because sometimes I would rather just, watch it in bed and then just chill out and not have anybody interrupt me. But then sometimes I love pigging out on my popcorn and, just being able just to get out, have dinner, and then go have some popcorn and then just get out and just watch it in a big screen. But yeah, I feel like it's really changed the dynamic of the people that kind of go to the theater. Like I said before in the show, I mean, there's times where I've gone and everybody's just on their phone making TikToks or filming stuff, and you could just see their screen is so bright and it just interrupts the movie making, right? So like I want to see the movie. I don't want to see your screen. I don't want
Who
to
needs
see
to
you
be in the
talking to
moment?
your friends, I want to go back to where it was like, 7 years ago before the phones really, I mean, phones took off 7 years ago, but people still had the respect for the movie theaters.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like more and more the sort of lack of blockbusters and the lack of wide release mega films have definitely, and it's referenced there in the story too, but it's definitely lived in my mind that there aren't really those like juggernaut films worth going to see much anymore, that I'm like truly excited about and can't wait to go see on the big screen, because it just makes such a big difference to me when you see it on the big screen. Like for a movie the scale of Avengers, like Infinity War or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That needs to be on the big screen. That's a shared experience with an auditorium that's going nuts, and it feels so good to be with people all sort of rooting for the same thing. And it's like an arena experience, to a certain degree. But yeah, to not have those caliber of films, those sort of level of films here recently, I think has really played into me not wanting to go to a cinema.
A lot of people, I mean, I feel like a lot of the companies like pull plugs and like, I mean, I still remember, watching Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, like I had to watch those in the theater. Like I was there before, like, the whole reservation system of seats. I was there like Sunday morning with my grandma, ready to go to get the first seat that I needed it. She went the popcorn, I stood in line to get the seats. And then it was just like, it was one of those things where, you would show up on a weekend or, Friday morning or, like Thursday night going in to watch that, like the first showing of the movie. Like those were like the good times when they had, those kind of epic films, right? Like Pirates.
12:01 a.m.
I watched Pirates like so many times in theaters because it was just, the music was great. It was just, you had to see it on the big screen, And
now it can come straight to whatever streaming device you have. It's kind of incredible. And Tish and Megan saying, interesting point, our local drive-in went out of business in 2018. It was asked to reopen for the pandemic, and it's doing well. So that's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't been to a drive-in since I was like a kid. I remember watching like Batman and Robin or something like that in the screen, like on the drive-in screen. That would be so cool. Like I would do that.
I would too. I always think about how it would have been nice to have had something like that, because I saw it on like TV and in movies growing up. And I was like, is there a drive-in near us? Like as a kid, I always wanted to go to one, but we never had one near us growing up in Northern California, unless we had to drive really far away. And so it's never something that I got to be a part of. But you know what? I partake in it now every time I go to Hollywood Studios at Disney World to the Sci-Fi Drive-In. Thank you very much.
That's a good one. And they deliver the food to you.
Yeah. I
Nice
don't even
and
have
hot.
to worry about it. Yep, and it's climate controlled. Oh,
That's true.
bless it. Love it to death. Well, we have moved on, ladies and gentlemen, to predictions. Prediction time for Disney Parks panel at D23, scheduled to take place tomorrow. Now it is time to turn it on over, not just to all of you and asking, what do you think will be announced for Disney Parks at D23? No doubt this is the most sought after of all the panels and the biggest of all of the groups that they let in to try and listen, because it is so dang popular and has brought us many mega announcements in the past, and usually sets sort of the course for the Walt Disney Company's Parks and Resorts division for the next few years. And they usually will outline usually up to about 5 years or so of plans and plots and things that they are ready to either lay the foundation of, or the ideas that are percolating in their mind as to what they'd like to see Imagineering wise. At any rate, we have heard some really spectacular things here in the past about new ideas, new concepts coming to the lands of the theme parks around the world. And now we definitely want to hear from you. What do you think will be announced for Disney Parks at D23? Let us know in our live chat, or if you're watching this on demand after the fact, let us know in the comments what you think will be announced. Since this is happening tomorrow as we do this live, you will know very soon. But it's always fun to try and speculate what Disney might be doing next based on what they've done up until right now. So, Katrina, what sort of things do you have on your list when you think about the D23 Parks panel and their announcements of what's to come?
Ooh, oh man, I have so many like I jot down because I was like, this is something's got to come true, right? For like Disneyland and Disney World. Like, oh
Put it in the
man,
universe.
yeah, right. I need to, because they will always make the announcements and sometimes they cut back. I was very excited for that
Mm-hmm.
Mary Poppins attraction. That didn't
Oh,
happen.
rest in peace.
I know, but okay. So this is my one that the crowd will go wild. Disney buys Angel Stadium and they'll make Westcott.
Oh my gosh.
Come
Whoa.
on, universe.
There's a blue sky. Oh my gosh.
You know how amazing that would be? Oh my God, I would die. That would be like a huge prediction. That's like too big I feel like it would be too big for this panel, but the whole crowd would just like go nuts.
Oh,
That would be, can you imagine?
a Westcott. Oh, just in general, that would blow my
I would
mind.
be there. Poor DCA, like that's usually like that is our Westcott.
Yeah, right.
But oh man, if they did that, that'd be so cool. And then you can like add in new stuff. But I'm like really hoping for Disneyland, they just announce something for Tomorrowland, because it needs something. It needs like a new ride, or like a redo, like what they're gonna do, add a people mover, do something like it's just so sad there,
Yeah.
and then maybe something with a fireworks show celebrating the 100 years of wonder, because obviously Disneyland is like the original. So I feel like they would have to kind of do some kind of fun new like firework to show the Walt Disney and what they've done, from like
Right.
the beginning to now. I think that would be really, really cool to honor him.
Seems quite practical, right? Typically they use these big marker, milestone anniversaries to try and usher in new entertainment, sort of, attributed to the flag that they plant for the celebrations. So,
Yeah.
I think, that definitely might be something we hear. And I would love to. The 100 year marker is such an important one, and I really hope they go big, because I think we've witnessed, unfortunately for Disney World's 50th, not a whole lot happened.
No, and like they added in like a little thing on their fireworks show, but it's just kind of like Disneyland when they did their 60th, they went all out. They did what they had, like they had a fireworks show. They had, it's just they refurbished rides, they added new things. You could feel the celebration. And for Disney World, they didn't do it, but I feel like the 100 years of wonder, like Walt Disney, like Disneyland is part of that, right? So
Absolutely.
I feel like they kind of they need to embrace it and then just blow the 50th out of the park. They'd be like, oh, the 50th, you're so cute. And then they just do it even better, and then on like, yeah, it'll be. They need to do something like that. I know people were saying like they may do cavalcades for the 100 years of wonder, but I don't want cavalcades. I want like a fireworks show.
Yeah.
Like great music that's gonna make me cry.
Make me weep.
From John Williams, who's going to be a soon-to-be Disney legend.
If she has her way.
2024.
Yes.
Oh my God. And like Disney World, I have like a couple predictions. Like obviously they're going to announce Tron. We all know it. They're not like the date.
Yeah.
And I want to say it's November 1st. I don't know why. I have
like, holiday season. I get that feeling too.
Season's Among Us. It's like right after Halloween. People are still going to be there for the Halloween celebration right before Christmas. I feel like they've got to do something they've been running Tron, so it's ready.
Yeah.
So like right before Christmas crowds come in, they need something new to, suck people in. And then Animal Kingdom, they're going to talk about the expansion of Zootopia. That's
you think up. So?
I hope so.
Ooh, interesting.
I hope so. Dinorama or whatever it is, like little dino place needs something. It's sad.
Oh,
it's there.
Yes, it's Dino Land USA has experienced better days. That's for sure.
And then because I showed the ride vehicles and stuff for the Zootopia ride, and I'm like, if you really want a cookie cutter, you can put it right at Disney World's.
Yeah, this is the spot, right?
Need of another another land, because when you get to that section over there, it is just womp womp.
You're telling me Primeval World was not a spectacular e-ticket attraction?
Oh my gosh, I did it once and never again. I was like, this is frightening. I feel like I'm gonna fall off. I think we used a fast pass for it too back in the day, and I was like,
amateur.
Why? Why do we do this? But yeah, that poor place. It's Zootopia, man. It's gotta be. It has to. So I'm hoping those things are going to happen, and maybe they'll announce the Spaceship Earth refresh from going from the communications to the storytelling. Or I forgot what they said that they were trying to redo, and then it was swept under the rug, just like Mary Poppins. They're like, that never was going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, I totally forgot about it. Absolutely.
Exactly, right? Well, I remember going to Disney World right before the pandemic, and I was like, okay, we rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and then I was like, we have to ride Spaceship Earth before they close it. We have to. And then so we rode it a couple times because obviously there was nobody there, and then and I was like, goodbye, and then it never happened.
I'll never see you again. Just kidding.
I know. I was like, Judi Dench, I think they said they were going to replace her voice. And I'm so devastated because when Dame Judi Dench introduced and says hello to me and welcomes me to Epcot, and I'm like, oh, I love you so much.
Yeah, I'm home, right?
I know. Oh man. So when I see her voice, when I hear her voice, it makes me all bubbly inside. But I hope they let her redo it, but I think I forgot who they said they were going to replace her with, but if they did those things, that would be amazing.
Great list, that's for sure. And Tisha and Megan saying the Tomorrow of Tomorrowland. Yes, I think everybody wants to see a new Tomorrowland come to Disneyland Park. It's definitely been heavily rumored, definitely been one of those things that has gotten the most amount of traction here in the last year or so as the big sort of mega announcement that will no doubt rock the Disneyland world because Tomorrowland has just been forgotten. And as they build and create new lands throughout the resort property in California, they've continued to just sort of poo-poo poor Tomorrowland. That's for sure.
Oh my God, I have one more. Okay, I swear.
Oh, one more. Go for it.
This is it. And then I think they're going to talk about the expansion where Paradise Pier Hotel is. And remember what those renderings, and they're talking about having that
the
bridge?
Disneyland Forward thing. Yeah.
Maybe they're going to elaborate a little bit more on it and then they're going to announce kind of a little bit more about the hotel refurb and trying to get Disneyland under control with their expansion. Okay, I'm done.
Good idea. And I think you're onto something there. They also took down, I think a day or so ago, the Paradise Pier Hotel signage has come down.
Oh, they took it down? Oh, so that
It's
was just a
happening.
shadow, like, or all the sun stain marks and stuff?
Yep.
Oh, I thought they painted it
Dirt.
white or something.
They've been,
Uh-oh.
oddly enough, they've been doing a lot of exterior work that the cosmetic stuff that I would assume would come at the end of like a major overhaul, and they're starting with it. I don't understand why, but yeah, that seems to be the direction that they're going. So yeah, maybe Disneyland forward details and descriptions will definitely permeate through the
I hope
panel.
so. We need more hotel information.
We sure do. Yeah, bring on that bridge. That'll be nice. Melissa's saying, nothing will be said about Disneyland Tomorrowland. I really want the People Mover to come back, though. So Melissa going out on a limb saying nothing will be said about Disneyland's Tomorrowland. I don't know about that.
It
I
makes
feel
me
like
sad. I feel like it's either they're gonna like tiptoe away from it or like do something really small.
yeah, well, there's so much dead space. There's a lot of empty shells there that can be easily outfitted for other things. Even just like, singular attractions. You think of the Magic Eye Theater. It's been vacant since Disneyland reopened last year.
Maybe they're gonna rename it to Yesterland.
It's
Of the
much easier to keep
yesteryears.
up with. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah. So Melissa thinking there is going to be nothing about Tomorrowland. We're gonna hold you to that, Melissa. We will definitely hold you to it. Joe saying for sure a new ride in Dinoland USA or a full land overhaul. So he's along the same lines as you, Katrina. It sounds
Come on,
like
Zootopia.
yeah, absolutely. Looking for some Zootopia love. D saying they won't be announcing a fifth gate for Walt Disney World. So I know there's a lot of discussion happening right now about whether or not Disney is going to go the fifth gate route to try and compete with Universal's Epic Universe that is, being built for the sake of their Orlando property. And I know that the fifth gate was something that everybody was beating the drum of. I don't think we're going to hear about a fifth gate either.
No, not with the way their 50th anniversary is going. I don't think they're really planning on anything for Disney World.
Yeah, we'll
Besides
see.
a tiny ride or a tiny refurb or something,
Yeah, amen. Geez, I'm hoping that Disney World gets at least a little bit more in terms of like nighttime entertainment, a few more extras on that end for the 50th. I'd like to see it at least go out with a bang, or at the very least, do something spectacular for Epcot's 40th, please.
Yeah.
Really go all out for Epcot's 40th. That would be cool to see.
Because like, was it the 35th was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they'll announce like that one the Yester Hotel that was supposed to happen over by the Bayou area that they announced.
I totally forgot about that too.
DVC hotel, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll like actually announce it saying it's coming
Boy.
one day.
Yeah, a lot of possibilities here. Well, we did take a poll of the Kingdom Report audience, and we asked, what would you like to hear announced the most at D23? Here's what y'all had to say. 15% of you saying opening dates for current projects, Tron at Magic Kingdom, obviously Epcot's big overhaul. There's a lot happening there. 52% saying, we want to hear about Tomorrowland being overhauled at Disneyland. That doesn't surprise me. I think that is the hottest prospect of what they could potentially announce, if not the Disneyland Forward expansion of the parks, then definitely a Tomorrowland overhaul. 7% saying new fireworks or parade or for Magic Kingdom. So that is something that could definitely take hold. I'm even thinking they might ship the electrical parade back over there. Some sort of nighttime entertainment. Yeah, it's an easy out that they can market around. That's for sure.
I thought they just do paint the night.
Yeah, well,
I feel like the floats would work there because they have a lot bigger space to go down.
and talk about a parade that hit the highest possible marks of satisfaction that we have never seen again, really. It came back for a very, very tiny run in California Adventure and then disappeared.
It's true.
Everybody's
and they
waiting to see it.
modify it for DCA too because like it couldn't fit under the wiring for the trolley.
Red car trolley. Oh, good point. Yes.
So they can actually have everything the way it should be and then actually bring it down to Disney World and then they can it'll look amazing. It'll look so fun. And then bring back Happily Ever After.
That's all we want.
It's all I need in my life.
Bring back what worked, please. Yes. And 17% saying Avengers Camp is expansion at Disneyland. Well, you already have your wish to a certain degree, 17%, as we announced here at the top of the program that the expansion is going to be happening. An e-ticket attraction of the Quinjet is out, and now a new attraction based on something completely different will be a part of the expansion for the California Adventure Space. The rest of the audience then chiming in with other, and the others had these things to say. Brian announcing that I want Disneyland to get the people mover back up and running again. That includes a Tomorrowland overhaul, then great. Brian, virtual high five to you. That's for sure.
I agree, Brian.
Oh, please saying, I would like to hear Chapek has left the company to pursue the next chapter in his life.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the greatest announcement of all? That's for
Wow,
sure.
that would be insane. Just what an end to D23. That's all we need.
The reason I'm growing out my beard is because I'm moving to the mountains and I'm giving all this up. Yes.
I quit. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. You got your wish. I'm leaving my contract early. Adam Heath, no relation at all, saying a fifth gate, something needs to be done to compete with Universal's Epic Universe. So just as I was mentioning, the Epic Universe coming to the Orlando area, that will no doubt make a theme park fan's life so much better because Disney's going to need to compete eventually. John saying, I want to hear that they're canceling the Splash Mountain retheme. Well, John, also from the top of the program, we covered it. That's not getting canceled. In fact, they're going full steam ahead. The exterior will still very much look like Splash Mountain, so at least you got that.
True, water's involved, so that's great.
Yeah, it's a mountain. There's going to be water. You're in good company. Don't worry about that. Douglas saying, I hope the Magic Happens parade comes back to Disneyland. Yeah. Ooh. What about that?
I was like, is that even a thing? I didn't know.
It's just completely vanished and, just left our map entirely. And yeah, I would love to see that myself. I know about a week ago or earlier this week, time is something I don't do well. But I think it was earlier this past week, a posting went up for Disney Entertainment casting for a Disneyland parade. And we know already that they've casted and are in rehearsals right now for the Christmas parade. So it's not that, it's whatever's beyond it. So I am wondering if the Magic Happens parade will be announced as a return for 2023.
I mean, maybe it's that January crowd that they need back. So, I mean, Magic Happens did happen at one point in January. So.
Magic Happens happened for 2 weeks. That's right. That was the extent. And I know that all of those parade floats have been housed and maintained at Disneyland. So they're just waiting to fire them up again. So Douglas, you might get your wish. Jeanette saying the annual passes at Walt Disney World were coming back for out-of-state and reservations no longer required. It's something that Jeanette would like to hear. Yeah, and Benjamin kind of echoing that, but for Magic key holders on the West Coast saying abolishing park reservations for key holders. I got to say, I feel like a broken record because I feel like we always say this sort of as a team, and that is these reservations allow Disney to control way too much, and they like it that way. I just don't think that we are going to see the end of reservations anytime soon because it allows them to be able to plan and control things a lot more than they ever used to. And so certainly that's something that no doubt will be a tool that they keep in their toolbox from this point forward. But definitely interesting things to hear as we embark on the big D23 Parks Expo tomorrow. Certainly loved covering so much of the details for you here today. I know that there is a little bit of a potential wrench thrown into the Tomorrowland prospects. I unfortunately am sad to see that the Disney Vacation Club Lounge coming to the Tomorrowland Star Wars Launch Bay area is going to be something that they put into effect going into 2023. It's easily removable, so it doesn't completely throw me off the scent of a potential Tomorrowland overhaul, but to be moving forward with a DVC lounge in a space that is sort of central to everything in the land that either needs to be knocked down to make way for an overhaul or needs to be excavated interior wise to make way for all the new things for an overhaul. I'm not exactly excited about the idea of a DVC lounge coming to Disneyland's Tomorrowland. So we'll see what happens there, but it gives me a great deal of pause knowing that that is on its way and that we all were anticipating an announcement, of a Tomorrowland overhaul. So maybe it will be, attraction specific and not entirely a land, but they got to do something with that area because it is long in the tooth.
Yes, 100%.
100%. Well, Katrina, that about wraps up this edition of Disney News Talk Live. I think it's the first time you've joined us on this side of the aisle. Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh my God, it's so much fun. I'm so glad.
I had a good time myself. And
thank you for having me.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Yes.
Thanks everybody for listening to me as I'm like nerding out and giggling and stuff over all of these like trailers and stuff that are happening. It's just what a weekend. So many things are happening. Everything's happening at once. I'm just like ecstatic as you guys are about all these announcements.
Thrilling to say the least. I know that there's just been a lot of great information to take in, a lot of great announcements to hear about, and no doubt even more to come with the Disney Parks panel coming up on Sunday the 11th at the Anaheim Convention Center. Once again, if you are not following us on our Instagram, you are missing out on everything that's happening on the floor right now. Kingdom Report Live on Instagram. Check out our stories. We are chronicling it all for you right there to check out, from videos to all kinds of photos snapped and all kinds of things on the exhibitor floor, as well as the panel discussions. I know that just before we went on air, they were hosting a Q&A on one of the side stages, talking to the cast of Raven's Home. And they were talking about season 5 of Raven's Home on the Disney Channel. It's incredible that Raven Simone is still around on Disney Channel after all these years.
Yeah, girl, she got it. Honestly, I like the new one. They're back at home. I think that one's like, I just need Chelsea now. That's it.
That's right. Yeah, bring Chelsea back. It's great to have her dad back in the mix of things and sort of her kids involved. It's a whole it's like we grew up with her. It's just incredible.
Oh yeah. I need my cheetah girl in my life. I mean,
she's our favorite cheetah girl. That's right. Dee saying thank you for a wonderful show. Dee, thanks for being with us. Joe saying great show as always. Hope everyone had a magical rest of their weekends. D23 can't wait for all the new to come out about the parks tomorrow. Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Prepared for that. I think it's at 10 a.m. tomorrow. The Parks and Resorts panel kicks off. So going to be thrilling to hear all of the announcements. Before we get out of here, Katrina, I think we need to pay our respects to Spider-Man. Stand by.
Here goes something. Sharon, airbags, please.
The weapon facility is not equipped with airbags.
Okay.
One of my favorite clips of all time. Garrett's a big fan of that one too.
I love that they have like a B mode though. Like they have a voice that goes in when they know something's gonna go wrong. It's hilarious.
Isn't that great? Yeah, like, hey, man, we have a fail mode. Here's the audio.
It's so good.
They know, that's for sure. Tisha and Megan, thank you for being a part of the broadcast as well. Thank you all for spending time with us here today, and you can check us out tomorrow as well, definitely covering reactions and all of the big news coming out of the D23 Expo. Thrilled to be able to be a part of this weekend in any way. And if you are a Disney nerds like us, no doubt you are just as excited as we are for hopefully righting the Disney parks ship tomorrow as we come out of this dreadful pandemic and sort of chart course for a much more hopeful and optimistic Disney Parks future. So cheers to you, Katrina. Cheers to everybody that has decided to tune in, whether on live stream or after the fact on demand. We are going to get out of here. And again, check us out over on social media so you don't miss a D23 thing. Katrina, have yourself a magical weekend.
Thank you, Wade. Have a good weekend. I'll be like messaging you if all my things come true into the universe.
She put it out there, and now we're waiting for it to manifest.
It's out there. It's written on a piece of paper. I have it. I'll be kissing it for the next 24 hours until I get my news that I need.
I'm crossing my fingers for you, and I'll say a little prayer and hope that the Disney gods smile upon us. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time for another installment of Disney News Talk Live.